Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I am good. I hope you're good too.
I am. It's a beautiful morning this morning, and we have lots of updates. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen Mercer, and I am an immigration attorney here in South Florida. My office is located in Lake Worth, but we represent clients all over the world. So if you have questions, you can give us a call here live on air this morning, or if you're a little radio shy, you can give me a call at my office and get out your pen and paper because I'll be giving you some information, and you can write down my number just in case you have questions. So my office number for Mercer Law is 561-582-8077. So I'm going to start out talking about the visa bulletin, like I do with every segment. But I'm going to kind of give you a little kind of asterisk on that because, of course, we're also going to talk about the suspension of visa issuance at certain countries and what that might mean for your place in the waiting line. So we'll go through the chart first, and then we'll open up that whole can of worms. So for categories for F1, that's F as in family, that is unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. And right now, unless you're from China, India, Mexico, or the Philippines, they are working on cases filed November 8th of 2016. Category F2A, again, that's F as in family, are spouses and minor children of permanent residents. And right now the government is working on February 1st of 2024. For unmarried sons and daughters, 21 years of age or older for permanent residents. And again, unmarried is the key word there. That's category F2B. And they'll be working on December 1st of 2016. Category F3 is married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. And they're working on cases filed September 8th of 2011. And finally, category F4, which is brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens, they're working on January 8th of 2008. So if you are in that category and if you follow this segment at all or the visa bulletin, you will notice that that category is not moving and has not moved for quite some time. So if you think you're going to be getting the green card based on that, you might want to contact an immigration attorney. You're more than welcome to contact my office because there might be a faster way for you to get status than to wait, 18 years, almost 20 years. There are some employment cases that it's possible you might be eligible for, or, normally we just kind of brainstorm in our initial consultation to find out what you might be eligible for. Because that category, they will eventually start moving again, but they haven't moved in quite some time. And I don't really know going forward how the chart is going to change because we have we have several lists of people who have been stopped. Their cases have in essence been stopped. So the first thing the first presidential proclamation that I want to talk about is Proclamation 10998. So if you Google this, it'll pop up. But that is the proclamation where the Department of State has paused all visa issuances for immigrant visa applications. So that is not a B2 tourist visa or an F1 student visa. This is an immigrant visa. So your place in the waiting line on that visa bulletin is finally over. There's currently a visa number available for you. You filed all the paperwork. You're good to go. And you might even be scheduled for your interview because I have had that happen with several clients where they are still doing interviews and they are still collecting evidence. But after the interview is over and they say, they may or may not tell you if you've been recommended for approval or not. But what they definitely will say is if you are from Jamaica and you are supposed to be getting an immigrant visa, you will not be getting it now. Because Jamaica is one of the countries that has been paused for the issuance of all immigrant visa applications. There are a lot of countries on this list. There are 75 countries on this list. You might want to know why are they doing this. So the government has said that it is nationals of these countries that are more likely to come to the United States and request government benefits or, cash assistance from the government, SSI, think TANF for needy families, things like that. So, don't feel special. There are a lot of countries on this list. Most of them are not anywhere near us, or Africa and other areas of the world. But Haiti's on the list, which will stop almost all visas. They're banned from almost obtaining any kind of visa, both immigrant and non-immigrant. Jamaica is on the list for immigrant visa pauses, not non-immigrant visa pauses. And also, other countries as well, like Brazil and the Bahamas, countries that have never really, Colombia's on this list, countries that are not normally on a kind of a list can be found here. And there are a lot of countries that didn't make it on this list, and we're not really sure why or what's going on there. So what is, like I said, what's happening is they're not allowed to issue the final visa, but that doesn't mean they can't continue with the case. So my best advice going forward with regard to this proclamation, which is 10998, continue to provide whatever documents are requested, try to get everything in just as diligently as you would before, because this is not a permanent a permanent ban. They were supposedly going to be reconsidering this or reevaluating this every 180 days, based on recommendations from I don't know who. So we know it's not going to be forever, which is why you need to continue your case as diligently as possible. And make the National Visa Center aware that there are certain clients that may be in danger of aging out of the process. You never know. There might be some sort of exception that, is flying around out there, or that an officer might be willing to grant you an exception. They have not said that this is possible, but I have seen things that shouldn't be possible happen, and I have seen things that shouldn't happen that happen all the time. You know what I mean? So just you have to stay diligent with this. Also, as long as you communicate with the National Visa Center at least once per year, at least once in a 12-year period, I recommend twice. You're paying your visa fees, you're notified them that you want to continue your case, and you've taken active steps to move forward with obtaining your immigrant visa, even if you can't get the visa at the end of the process at the moment. A lot of times that will kind of lock in a child's age so that they can continue with the rest of the family through that case. So it does not, again, this ban does not apply, especially for Jamaica, for tourist or non-immigrant visas. And so this might be an opportunity to put together a strong tourist visa package. And what I mean by that is, there be someone, a family member, someone in the U.S. who invites you to come visit for maybe a reason, a wedding, God forbid, a funeral, a family reunion, a graduation. You don't know. There's a big birthday coming up, and you want to be there. And so if you can show that you will return home after your visit, if you can show that you, have a set schedule, that you're not going to just come to the U.S. and float around for a few months. They want to know, what's your purpose? What are you going to do? Who are you going to visit? Where are you going to stay? Do you have enough money to support yourself while you're in the U.S. without having to work? Because they always question, if you're coming into the U.S. often, or if, too often, or if you're coming into the U.S. and staying for several months at a time. The government's going to start questioning that. How are you able to leave your home or leave your job or your family or whatever for this long and go back? And so that's when they start to consider maybe this person is working here, doing something that they're not supposed to do while they're in the U.S. And they don't even need any evidence of this. So if you've been accused of working, you have to make sure they understand that you were not working, that you were not getting paid, that you have not taken the job of a qualified American worker. I've heard them give people a hard time for saying, oh, well, I was just helping my neighbor with the yard work. If there's any indication that money was exchanged because you cut your neighbor's grass, even that could be considered working. So, if you are traveling, the other thing I want to mention is your phone and your online social.
Which I was going to ask you to obviously talk about this morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, they've always had the authority to do this, but they, of course, are just doing it more now than they have ever before, where they have the Customs and Border Protection have the authority to look through your phone when you are entering or leaving the country. And if everything's locked and you say, oh, my phone is off, they will make you turn it on and they will make you unlock it. And if you don't, they can confiscate your phone and do it themselves. So, anything that could be construed as anti-American sentiment, because freedom of speech is having a rough moment under the Constitution right now. So you be careful with what you say. That's considered, that would be anti-America or against the president. They don't like that. So if it's possible to just not have anything like that on your phone, it's the best option for you. They can look through your pictures. They can look through your WhatsApp messages. They can look through your emails. A lot of people, once you get into your phone, everything is unlocked and you can, go through everything. And they will do that. And what are they looking for? They're looking for a plan, like any kind of fraud, like a plan that you have to stay when really you're just supposed to come visit, or a plan to get married when you're not telling the government that that's your plan while you're entering the United States. Anything that looks like you might be doing something illegal, if they believe that there's any illegal drug use going on, or if they believe that you are, you have a substance abuse issue, if you get arrested for drinking and driving, if you have really anything. If there's any potential issue, they're going to try to catch it. So if you can travel without your phone, that is obviously the safest way to do it, but not everyone can do that. So, just be aware. And I know no one sits at home on their couch and takes 100 pictures, right? You're taking pictures when you're out, when you're celebrating, when you're with people. But if you have a drink in your hand in every single picture, regardless of how little you actually drink, it might appear as if you have an alcohol problem, So, and it's not fair. But this is, they have very broad discretion at the border. They do not have to let you in. And even as a green card holder, when you're entering the U.S., you are still applying for admission, because at that point, if the government has discovered any issue, like let's say that you were arrested, and maybe they never caught it before, maybe you never had any problems traveling before, but it pops up now. If that is a removable offense, and you have left the country and are applying for reentry, even as a green card holder, oftentimes Customs and Border Protection will take your physical green card, and they will admit you into the U.S., but for the purposes of attending your removal proceedings, and then they issue a document called a notice to appear, and they put you in court. And then it is your responsibility to hire an attorney, because there is not an attorney that will be provided for you, and you have to fight to save your green card in court.
Reminding listeners that the guest specialist on our program for another 14 or so minutes is immigration attorney Kristen Mercer. She's with us, and you may talk with her at these phone numbers. Call us at the studio at 305-948-1170 and 954-792-1170. So important that you talk about what Customs and Border Patrol are authorized to do at the border. And I would love for you to repeat, when you present a green card, you're actually applying for permission to enter.
Yes, and really everyone is. The difference is when you're a U.S. citizen, unless you have lied to obtain your citizenship, they can't take it away from you as much as they might like to. So, it's only if you're a green card holder, you are still at risk. If you're coming in on a visa, whatever kind it is, it could be a J, temporary work visa, it could be a student visa. They're going to be looking into this, and especially if, unfortunately, if you are from one of the countries on these lists, they're going to be looking to see, do you have enough money to support yourself while you're here? And does your, you can have, when you are applying for a tourist visa, everybody knows about the affidavit of support for the immigrant visa, but not everybody knows that there's also an affidavit of support for a non-immigrant visa. So if you are coming to visit a family member, and let's say you don't feel that you have enough money in your bank account to safely show that you're, going to be in the U.S. without working, and that you really do plan to return home, you can have a U.S. citizen or green card holder sponsor who can fill out this affidavit of support, and you can submit it at the U.S. Embassy when you're attempting to get your tourist visa or your student visa. And this person would provide their taxes or bank statements or evidence that they own their home, and they can, they tell the government how they plan to support you while you're visiting. So maybe they're not going to give you any money, but they're going to provide transportation and room and board, and they're going to provide food. So really all you need is money for your, for fun, for your living expenses while you're vacationing in the U.S. And together with the proof of where they live, or, maybe you have an itinerary, you're coming to the U.S. because you want to go with your family to Disney World. I don't know. Making this up, right? So then you've got tickets already, or you've got hotels booked at certain locations. This is really what the government wants to see, is the intended purpose of your trip, that you're going to come and that you are going to leave. So it is also just as important as providing documents about, what you have to support you while you're here. It's also important to show them what you have to go home to. So if you're traveling without your spouse or your children because you're coming to visit a parent, or maybe you're coming on a business meeting or something along those lines, you might want to provide evidence that you have a family that's still at home. You definitely need a return plane ticket to show proof that you intend to return. Maybe you own your home, or you own a business, or you have some other, important issues that you have to take care of at home. God forbid you have a sick relative and you're the primary caregiver. If you can provide evidence of that, that is in support of you returning home after your visit. So all these things that we can do to help prepare a package for you to take with you to that non-immigrant visa interview, and hopefully get that visa.
Something I hope we can look at before we run down the clock this morning. The matter of making deposits when people apply for certain visas.
Oh, you're talking about the bonds?
Yes.
Okay. So, yes.
Bonds, deposits, whatever, it's money.
Yeah, it's money, right? It's so what they're suggesting is that for certain countries who have a high reoccurrence of people coming into the U.S. as a tourist and overstaying, this is another list, right? So there's another list of people who are subject to visa bonds. Now, the good news is Jamaica's not on that list. Wonderful. But a lot of other countries are, especially in our neck of the woods, like Dominica, Cuba is on that list. And there are others as well. And it's, the people who are coming from these countries and they're applying for their tourist visa, they may be required to post a bond of either $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000, which they do not receive back. You don't get that money back unless you do exactly what you're supposed to do, which is leave when you say you're going to leave, and don't do anything to violate the terms of your non-immigrant visa. So I imagine if they find out that you've worked, not only will they cancel the visa, but you will lose your bond. If you, let's say, your tourist visa, the B2 visa is valid for a certain number of years, but once you enter the U.S., you can remain for up to 6 months, without having to leave, and you're still in legal status. The real issue with that is the longer you stay, then the longer you have to remain outside of the U.S. before you can come back. But let's say you tell them you're going to stay for a month, but really something happens and you end up staying for a month and a half. You lose the bond. So you might not cancel your visa because you still remain in legal status and left before you were, out of status. But you didn't leave when you told them you were going to. And $15,000 is nothing you can just throw away out the window, and
Yep.
it's for a lot of people, definitely not for myself, you know. So if you are worried that maybe your country's on this list, you can always call my office. Again, our number is 561-582-8077. Of course, you can Google all of this information is available for free on the web. Just make sure you are getting this information from a legitimate source. So all government websites end in .gov, .gov. So if it's, .com or .org, that is not an official government site. And I'm not saying they don't have correct information, but you should verify all of that information. And at the very least, if you think that you're going to be affected by anything we've talked about this morning, again, I'm happy to speak with you myself. You can call my office at 561-582-8077, or, there are many really well-qualified, wonderful immigration attorneys in South Florida, and you should seek the counsel of someone, whether you hire them or not, to at least find out where you stand, what your likelihood is of approval, even though no attorney is allowed to guarantee that. But an experienced immigration attorney will be able to at least guide you and give you the best possible chance of approval by helping you structure your case and put everything together in a way that is quick and easy for the officer at the embassy to read. If you've ever been to one of those interviews, if you blink, you'll miss it. You're in there for a very short period of time.
You have to be ready.
You have to be ready. You have to go in there, and if they ask, well, how do you plan to support yourself? Boom. Here's my bank account statements. Here's my affidavit of support for my non-immigrant sponsor. Here's, their taxes. Here's proof they own their home. You have to be ready to provide those documents. You absolutely cannot say, oh, I have that in my phone, because you are under no circumstances allowed to use your phone while you're inside the embassy. It's very difficult to get a denial overturned. So what realistically would happen is you would have to apply again with different or more evidence. But that's more time and money. So just the way I see things, if you do it right the first time, you never have to do it again.
Reminding listeners that 5-minute or so window exists for you to give us a call at 305-948-1170 and 954-792-1170 to speak with immigration attorney Kristen Mercer.
And then, there's kind of the one thing I wanted to mention is you really do need to speak with an immigration attorney about this, because even though the immigrant visa process has been halted, the processes for people who are already in the U.S. have not been halted. So if you are applying for an adjustment of status through the green card process through USCIS, that has not been put on hold. Even if your country is subject to a visa bond, or if you're subject to one of those proclamations, if you're already here in the U.S., you may not, and you file paperwork, you may not be affected depending on which list your country is on or how many lists your country is on. And there are quite a few. So, some of them say only a temporary ban on non-immigrant visas. Some are a temporary ban on non-immigrant and immigrant visas. Some are only for people who are out of the U.S. Some are for people who are in the U.S. So if you don't know, you need to talk to somebody who does. Don't try to guess, because you'll end up spending, again, time and money that could be wasted. And the other, so I'm trying to squeeze all this information in, because there's so much important information I want to provide you. Mm-hmm. So, for example, let's say you are in the U.S. and you are lucky enough to not be subject to one of these proclamations, and you're filing your paperwork through USCIS. If you have ever filed any paperwork before in the past, if anyone had ever tried to sponsor you before, if you ever tried to apply for a visa before, if you ever had a green card before and either gave it up or lost it, or let's say everything's gone well for you and you're getting ready to apply for citizenship, I cannot stress the importance of this enough. To obtain a copy of your file from the government through the Freedom of Information Act.
Okay.
And most immigration attorneys know how to do this. If you don't know how to do it, you can do it yourself online if you can figure it out. But So the U.S. government will provide you with a copy, a mostly complete copy, of all the paperwork you've ever filed, of decision notices, receipt notices, requests for evidence. If you apply through the Department of State, they'll give you copies of the visa applications that you filed online. Because when you file new paperwork, if the information you put on your new paperwork is not consistent with the information that's already in your file, they don't say, oh, they must have made a mistake. They say, well, were you lying then or are you lying now? Yeah. And, of course, if they accuse you of fraud, in some cases there is a waiver for that called an I-601 waiver. But you have to have a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent to qualify for that waiver. And so let's say that you are being petitioned for by your 21-year-old U.S. citizen son or daughter. They can be the petitioner, but they are not on that list of qualifying relatives for the waiver. And for criminal waivers, I think that's the only waiver when you can use children as a qualifying relative, and they have to be minor children. But if it's for anything else, and I say fraud, that doesn't mean you intended to commit fraud. It could be fraud or misrepresentation, meaning maybe there was information they feel you should have given that you withheld, or maybe you didn't portray the information 100% accurately. Or if they think you're trying to hide something from them, they will consider that misrepresentation, and you need the waiver anyway. And so fraud and criminal arrests, if you need a waiver for those, that never goes away. But let's say you had an order of removal from a long time ago and you spent 10 years out of the United States, you no longer need a waiver for that. Or if you received a 10-year or a 3-year bar for having overstayed in the U.S. and then left, if you spend 3 or 10 years out of the U.S., you still need to apply for reentry, but you might not need that waiver. So the best way to be able to avoid having to file a waiver is just take the time, slow down a little bit with your process. I know everybody wants to file everything right away because, especially in Florida, if you don't have a work permit, you can't get a driver's license, and then you could end up getting arrested for a misdemeanor driving without I understand all of these things. But if you don't handle the case properly and you rush through it, you could make a bigger mess for yourself instead of helping yourself clean things up and getting your status sorted. So I cannot believe how fast this half hour has gone by.
That's how it works.
But I would happily give you my information one last time. Again, my name is Kristen Mercer. I'm with Mercer Law. You can look me up online and all over the world. So you can give my office a call at 561-582-8077 if you have additional questions, or you can look me up online at Mercer Law here in South Florida. But either way, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will be here same time next month to answer more questions and provide more updates.
Attorney Mercer, we'll be talking with you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Immigration attorney Kristen Mercer on our program for that 30-minute segment. Minority spokesman on industry in Jamaica calling on the Prime Minister. Parafire reports that the Morant Bay Urban Centre in St. Thomas Parish remains incomplete and inaccessible to tenants. This is WAVS News. Anthony Hilton's call follows a report from Nationwide News that the facility is not yet ready for business 9 months after its official opening.
Today, that facility remains a glorified construction site. There is no light, no water, sewage issues persist, and the retailers who invested their hopes and savings are still locked out, bleeding revenue while they wait for keys that should have been in their hands last year.
Weighing in on the issue, Hilton says the delays in the centre's opening is a disservice to the people of St. Thomas. Factories Corporation of Jamaica Chairman Littleton Shirley says tenants will have electricity in their units by the first week in March. Still, Hilton is calling on the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, to give an account of the FCJ's management of the site.
Who is funding the cost overruns? And most importantly, when will the government stop treating the people of Jamaica as mere props for an election campaign? These business operators deserve answers. The Jamaican people deserve better than political theater.
In Barbados, with her 27-member cabinet in place, Prime Minister Mia Mottley is letting it known that a number of delayed projects will be brought to completion soon. She says, however, the soon-to-be-established National Competitiveness Commission will not be a theoretical exercise.
Will address the issues sectorally, both in the large sectors that people expect, like tourism, and in the very critical sectors of vending and hawking, because that is what keeps many a Bajan household alive in this country.
In Trinidad and Tobago, Minority Leader Penelope Beck is calling on the Prime Minister to retract and apologize for what she described as an offensive and divisive social media statement about Calypso and Calypsonians, accusing the government of waging an ongoing attack on Trinidad and Tobago's culture. In a statement, Becker said the Prime Minister's comments reflected a troubling lack of restraint and judgment and amounts to an unhinged and desperate outburst that she believes forms part of a wider pattern of hostility toward cultural expression dating back to Independence Day 2025. Becker says matters involving the preservation of history, freedom of expression, and the proper commercialization of cultural products require meaningful consultation and respectful dialogue. In St. Lucia, authorities are indicating the son-in-law of Octavia Benoit, who was stabbed at her Monchy residence last month, may face an upgraded charge after the 8-year-old succumbed to her injuries. 51-year-old Bernard Andre Castries was arrested the same day and later charged with dangerous harm. Police have since stated that in light of Benoit's death, Andre's charge could be upgraded as investigations continue. This is Winston Barnes, WAVS News.
The following is an independently produced program. The views expressed within are not necessarily the views of WAVS Radio, its staff, or management, but are strictly those of the hosts, guests, and callers.
The Open Line on the Open Mind with Winston Barnes and WAVS 1170 and live at WAVS1170.com.
If you're out and about in the street today, you might see some people with a darkish mark on their foreheads. If you look closer, you'll realize it's ash or some facsimile thereof, because today is Ash Wednesday. It's the start of the Lenten season that runs for 40 days. A lot of people say they give up stuff for Ash, for Lent. I don't know. Talk to us. What though are the traditions behind Lent? Some of the things I didn't know, for example, Lent is supposed to be the Ash Wednesday is supposed to be the day when the palm fronds, the palm boughs, we call them boughs, are burnt and the ashes are used to mark the foreheads. Didn't know that at all. But if you know, you know. Talk with us on the Open Line program this Wednesday afternoon at 305-948-1170, 954-792-1170. We have callers holding. Hello?
Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Me again.
Tell me.
The occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue did nothing, no raise a flag for icon who passed away, but get, we call him Charlie Kirk, that put up half flag for the White House, but nothing for icon like Jesse Jackson. Or how funny life is.
No, sir.
Charlie Kirk went
no,
on,
sir.
do nothing.
Listen! Hang up the phone and go on. You know better than that. Sure. What? Listen. You really think you would do that? Please.
But it's just the double standard with that.
No double standard at all. One standard. You see the mistake you make? It's not no double standard. It's one standard. Please. Yeah, but listen, you know it's still bad, you know. You know it's still bad.
It's still bad, man. Icon, Jesse Jackson passed away, and 1600 Pennsylvania didn't even say, we're going to raise the flag half-staff for an icon in...
Question for you. Just goodness. Hold on, man. Martin Luther King Jr. has a higher profile. You think him going to do it for him? Don't answer the question. You don't have to answer. You know he wouldn't do it, so leave that alone. All right? Please.
All right, respect.
All right. Open line program on WAVS Radio with another caller. Hello.
Teacher Winston Bond.
Hey, giving thanks.
What is not going on, my brother?
Everything.
First, let me use this opportunity to say blessing goes out to everyone in the United States and all over the world who still believe in honesty, truth,
Okay.
and decency. Mr. Bond, we used to take these things for granted. We can't do it anymore, you know.
Yep.
No, this is a serious thing. People who is standing up for truth, honesty, and decency today, you got to send out a prayer for these people. Teacher, in the United States today, you can go to jail for speaking truth.
Yeah, man.
That's a serious thing right now, Mr. Barnes. You can go to jail for speaking truth in the United States today.
Yep.
So things that we used to take for granted when a man come and speak the truth, you say it's the norm. It's not like that anymore, Mr. Barnes.
Seriously.
It is easier for you to be silent in America right now than to speak up.
Yeah. You're not lying, you know.
So I use your show right now to big up Mr. Barnes, big up Jasmine Crockett, and there's a little brother from Texas, James Tellerio. Those people standing up and a lot more people, Mr. Barnes. Because I hear Byron Donalds the other day is running for something in Florida here. The governor.
Me know.
And he want to pass a bill, Mr. Barnes, where if somebody young make a mistake, he want to send them to prison.
Yeah.
And
You know something? Most of the people who end up going to prison, look like him,
No, but I was watching a video where Jasmine Crockett was talking. I want you to look for that video, Mr. Barnes. And Jasmine was saying, here you coming to pass a bill to say, oh, you're tough on crime. And it's the same system, give you a break when you ain't get mixed up. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett was on the video.
Call him out.
Jasmine Crockett said, you get a break 3 times you mess up. And you get a break where you could straighten out your life and go back to college, and now you're in the Senate.
Wow.
And now you're coming with a bill to send young people to prison because now you're tough on crime.
Yeah.
So Jasmine was saying the same grace where you get, you should be showing it to people. When you say I went to Florida. It's on YouTube, Mr. Barnes. Look it up. Jasmine Crockett and Byron Donald.
Yeah. Wow.
Him get catch with certain things when he shouldn't have when he went younger. Jasmine say you get a break where you could have shape up and clear up yourself. But no, you want to send people to prison. Mr. Barnes, these people, Republican, me tell you every day they are a bunch of hypocrites, Because they always say we are against abortion, bring your child come, but when your child gets raped by the rich and famous, then cover it up. Come on, man. Bring the kid come, okay, no abortion, all right, I agree with you. But what happened to when my daughter gets raped by these rich people? Why are you covered? Mr. Barnes, they say America is Christian country, but other people is getting in serious trouble on this Epstein files. In America, everybody just, it's okay. And the man name who start and end the Epstein file, why am not testifying? Why are they calling Clinton to testify? All of these wicked people should burn. It don't matter which party. Big up yourself, teacher.
Give thanks, yeah?
Love the work.
Boy, I don't know. Well, one of the things that is sure is that, as the caller mentioned, there are certain things like honesty and integrity that really don't mean nothing, Usually, those are things that money can't buy. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Usually the things that money can't buy aren't given any value, because there are people who believe, if you can't monetize it, it is of no value. I am not one of those that throw hope into the garbage or into the fire or into the air. I hold on to hope. So I am conscious that there are seasons in life. There are seasons in individual lives. There are seasons in the lives of countries. And this too will pass. Can't continue indefinitely. There are people who have made comparisons to Nazi Germany. It hasn't existed for decades. That did come to an end too. So, listen, there is still hope. All right? Please. Open line.
Yes, my legend. Blessed, good day, sir.
Giving thanks.
Oh, yeah, do everything good with your family?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. My brethren, they were just talk a little while. Them things they were matter about in a long time in Taekwondo. The truth and honesty been out the window a long time. It's just that it will come out now.
Watch there.
If you check the levels of things, that's been going on forever. It's just that it reached a point now where
can't hide anymore.
Can't hide no more, Uncle.
Can't hide no more.
But you know what me really have problem with, Uncle Ban?
Tell me.
Is my people. My people, because like me always, I love to look in my yard first before I look over see your yard.
Yeah.
I love look for my grass first, see how green it is. And my problem is, when you hear a white man I look on a black man ask me if he's right, something wrong. Because if me in a gas station I stand up in the line and I hear a black man I tell the cashier, which is a white man, say, boy, this brother are the best brother, the big man, And the cashier white man I look on him like, hello, where you there?
You all right?
Where you come?
You all right? What's there? You all right? Oh my gosh.
You okay? Uncle, the legend, let me tell you, man.
Come maybe what you really want to ask him, you live in the same world like me?
Right, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
That is no good.
And when me see that, hear me and myself, oh, Jah, you see, in a life, I feel a problem, I know them, because everybody, you are going to look out for your daughter first. Me, I going to look out for my daughter first before, if me have 2 candy, and me forget one, me I go give your daughter a piece of my own.
What's that?
But me now go left out my daughter.
There you go.
You understand? Legend.
Yes.
So when my people and them have this thing where them always come out, oh, a long time that, look where we there now. What you mean look where we there now? Where we there now? Which part we there? We're still in the same situation. It's just mentally them are doing. So this thing I go on a long time, legend, and my people them need to wake up, man. I don't know how much time I go say so, but I hope in my lifetime. I don't think it will happen, but I hope. I don't think so, my legend. But when my black people them love that about, I hate when a black man says, when a white man says he cut me, but when a black man says I feel to use my ratchet and sure.
I know what you mean.
Anyway. Legend. Bless up here, sir. Give thanks to life and go and keep up the good work. Without your sanity, we'll lose sometime. You understand?
Giving thanks every time, yeah?
Bless up yourself.
A misogynist is someone who dislikes, despises, or is strongly prejudiced against women. That is part of the problem with the black men who support the current president and actively fought against the candidacy of Kamala Harris. I hope people take the time and think about that, because the attitude of a number of people, a lot of black men apparently, is that no woman. I probably want to see him wife angle him too. Open Line program is continuing this Ash Wednesday with your telephone calls that you make at 954-792-1170, 305-948-1170. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Barnes. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I feel so right, but, as I heard a few callers speak about honesty. Now, in regards to this esteem thing, I feel very bad about the survivor. And they're talking this and talking that and trying to seek justice. No, you can't seek justice from a dead man. What about the live one?
Wow.
Nobody talking about the live one. And the people, they are not being honest with themselves. Mr. Barnes, in a situation like this, you can't dance around the table. Mind you, there are ways to come out with it, and there are ways not to come out with it.
Okay.
But they are dwelling on what this dead man do and what he do. What about the live one?
The ones who are back here now still.
You understand me? So, I just don't know what to say anymore, But I think something surprisingly gonna come out one day.
Wow.
Something gonna come out one day and it's gonna shock the whole nation. And it is so serious that's why you have the big dog doing all different sort of things in the society, different countries.
You mean the thing they call distractions?
Yes.
Hey, what can I tell you?
So, brother, I just watch the whole thing and analyze it myself. Like, sometimes I wonder if other people really analyze it like I do.
Other people watching though, don't worry. People watching.
It is too plain.
Yeah.
When I used to grow up, my mother died when I was like a couple of months old. But the people who grow me, elderly people, they always say, show me your company and I tell you who you are.
Yes, sir. Seriously.
There's no way you can divide certain things that your company do from yourself.
From yourself. Wow. Arms house behavior amongst company, arms house behavior too.
It's true.
It's true. It's more than true. Grabbing another caller on the open line. Hello?
Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want my honestness. I think my lifetime experience that women are smarter than men.
Okay. I agree with you. No. So it's not a grand revelation to me. So.
Guess what? I work on a construction site and I'm a co-worker. I spend about 9 years up the river.
Okay, boss.
And him get tagged as a drug kingpin. And say,
wow.
Yeah, FBI come at the house and them a search up the house. The man them a search up the house. For 6 hours them have him in a handcuff, and dig up the house,
Yeah, Papa.
And them can't find nothing. Guess
not
what?
That thing.
Two lady detective come in.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Say, what is that on the table? Some little gift baskets. Some little gift baskets and things. So them lady them woman fast already.
Stop it!
Find the cocaine.
Right,
and guess what?
Right in front of them face.
Yeah, right in front of them face. And in the back house, him about 100 G's, 100,000.
Stop it!
Yeah.
So hold on now. auntie and cousin come in, and no guy never think about that before. And she said, by the way, those things there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is no good.
So you know, say if him can't vote, you know, say no vote for no woman. So,
all right, I don't talk. Oh my, you see it makes sense?
9 years instead because I'm too fast, man.
No, 2 women doing their work, doing their job.
Yeah, do them work.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, God. Yeah, boy, that's how it go. All right, thank you.
Good. Oh, my God. Could we learn or what? This is the open line.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Hey, me good, you know.
I'm going to add something to that. I was never going to touch anything like that, but I'm going to add something to what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
This country will never have another balanced budget until a woman is president.
Uh-oh.
You can't write it down.
Uh-oh.
Never.
How
ever.
come?
Winston, you know. I know. And you and I are in the same position where that is concerned.
Okay.
We have and two. They can stretch money farther than any rubber band can stretch.
Partner, for real. For real.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They have the best budget sense of anybody that you will ever meet.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I woke up this morning to some crazy news from the stable genius.
Uh-huh.
The stable genius decided that he's going to ban Canadian currency.
Uh-uh.
Now, I'm a financial management degree person, and I worked for Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Benner, and Smith.
Stop it.
So you know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. The only time you can ban any kind of currency is if somebody is conducting a transaction and you refuse that currency.
You refuse to accept it, yeah.
Whether it's for service or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the stable genius think he could do that. I have not seen it since mine. I'm not even going to look at it because I know. I guess Wall Street is in the toilet today.
Mm-mm.
And it's going to stay that way until the stable genius will listen to somebody to explain to him why you can't do that. Because that is turning a shotgun on yourself, and the only thing you need to do is remember to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because here's the problem now. He ordered the Treasury that they should not accept any transaction that deals with Canadian currency. No credit card, no nothing. But, Mr. Barnes, here's the problem. Reciprocal current transaction worldwide is affected.
When somebody think it was just going to affect Canada-US transactions.
It affects everybody.
Everybody.
It affects everybody. But you and I have a gold dollar in our pocket, and it's a real gold dollar. Okay. And you and I have had this conversation on this radio station over and over and over again. Nobody listening to this radio station should have a bank account with one of the major banks. I'm not going to extrapolate. Why? Because I've been over it many times. When you're a member of that other organization, you're a member.
Yeah.
The reason they are solid is because they have limited exposure. Mm-hmm. That limited exposure is to their members only. When you have the other guy, you're a number. His exposure becomes yours.
Yeah.
And if the Titanic go down, it don't make no difference whether you're on the bow or the stern. You're going down with it. So, the crazy thing is, this is going to be terrible.
Wow.
When you've lost credibility worldwide. You can't get it back, you know. The old adage that America was a safe place to do business and to put your money, that is gone.
So, one question before I let you go. Anybody going to pinch him and I'm going to listen?
No, ain't nobody going to pinch him and going to listen, and I'm going to tell you why. He talk about there are jobs in this country that only immigrants will do. And that's the only truth he ever tell. He imported.
All right. Okay, boss. Online program on WAVS Radio, halfway through already. Want to talk a little bit about people looking to travel for the Easter after our conversation this morning with immigration attorney Kristen Mercer. But first, we're grabbing our callers after we remind you of our studio numbers. 954-792-1170, 305-948-1170. Hello?
Mr. Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Me am going to talk about honesty. You know, but honesty got begin from in the home, you know. You know that? Honesty begin from in the home. Because the mother and father not honest. All you tell the children are going to grow.
Serious
I
thing.
don't answer the question, Mr. Bond.
Serious thing, yeah.
And you ever say yourself, father fuck is so grip. Set the children teach on edge.
On edge, yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You see, if you come from an honest home, you gotta be honest to people.
Serious
And
thing.
I want to say one more thing. And I know you read the Bible. And the Bible tells about the country you are gonna fall. You read about it. Because you are gonna fall. Huh? And then another country gonna rise.
Watch there.
What do you think? What do you see in the world happening right now? Just what you see in the world happening right now? One going down and one coming up.
But you see, guess what? Some people deny the significance of the Bible, you know. So, plus, you know something too. You know something. Guess what? You know something. Some people afraid of the Bible, you know.
I know that.
All right. That's
I know that.
Yes.
But the Bible is the truth, you know. You follow the Bible, you'll never wrong. You can't never go wrong. So why scared? Have a good day, Mr. Barnes.
Take care, buddy. Upline program on WAVS Radio. This next caller. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Barnes.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. This word where people are saying, "Show me your friends and I tell you who you are." I don't buy that word. I don't buy into that much because a lot of us have family was unruly. You grew up in family that were a lot of unruly. Ever since I grew up, I've been around a lot of unruly people. I don't follow them do nothing. Most of all, the only thing I ever do around unruly people is smoke ganja, and that leads me to God.
What's there?
I ain't no worry about them. All right, sir.
All right. Oh my gosh. Tell you, my callers are the best. Listen. There are people who don't even profess to be Christian, and they're more Christian than a lot of us who go. You notice I say us who go to church every Sunday. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Mr. Barnes, you listened to Mr. Marco Rubio speech a week ago. You know, you went about democracy that dead and gone.
Watch there.
And he was a staunch supporter of democracy.
But not only that, he was a staunch fighter down of Cuba.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. So, I want to know what kind of transaction they want to make in Cuba now when they change the government. What kind of government you want now? I can't democracy. You can't talk about democracy again.
Can't demand democracy of them again? Watch there.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because they not have no gold, they not have no silver, they not have no
oil
for resources. And you've stifled them for years. So where you going now? With the people? There are some now enough people.
$1 million question.
Money.
$1 million question.
That's right. Even for money. So where am I going to go to?
Well,
if I go help the people or am I going for some money? Well, which one?
listen, I'm going to return the hustle to Cuba. You remember now? Remember now, you know, how the hustle used to run before 1959, you know.
Exactly.
Gambling, drugs, prostitution.
And all that. The mafia business are going. I know, you know, you must try to. So what am I going to bring back? What them I bring back? What kind of government them going to bring? I'm sure them are going to bring democracy.
Time to fight that down
now.
Something like that. Oh my God!
And when that from Ghana, where am I going to visit?
But you know, this is a question that we need to ask of the Cuban community in Miami-Dade County. Them is the one that must answer this, you know. Because listen, if you all these 60-something years been bawling about democracy in Cuba, now your big time defender come along and say, but that don't mean nothing again. What you want in Cuba? What you want in Cuba then?
Right. Well, you tell me you want to change the government all these years. You know, you understand support of democracy in Cuba. You want Barack Obama try and you take away that. Take that away. And like now you're defend communism over the rest of the world. And you are the secretary. We're supposed to push the democracy and you push something else. So we want to know where you're going to visit to when Donald Trump gone, because Donald Trump gone, you know, that we are talking about it.
Aye, Papa.
He want total control. Everybody must, you know, bow to him.
Yeah, $1 million question, boss.
Most of the Cuban them in Miami and Ireland, I want to listen. I want to vote different this time. All right?
All right, buddy. I don't know. There is a disconnect. There's one of the things that has happened, especially in the last 12, 14 months, is that we have been forcibly made to understand certain realities about the Cuban community in Miami-Dade. One of the things we have learned is that because they came into the country, they did not automatically benefit from the Cuban-American Act. That is an act of Congress, I think it was 1961, revolution, overthrow of Fulgencio Batista in 1959. The Americans in 1961 say, you know something, these people are our friends, and we've been hanging with them for all of these years. When they come to America, they don't have to go through certain procedures. They land and you set them up. Then there was some fine-tuning along the way. Then you get the wet foot, dry foot policy and all of that stuff. What a lot of us did not realize in all of those complications and confusion, what a lot of us didn't realize is that there were some people living in the Cuban-American community in the U.S. who were never regularized. Some of them never even had a green card. Because of whatever activities they were engaged in Cuba before they got here, they don't qualify for certain things in this country, even though they are here. I don't even know that they called it temporary protective status. I don't think it was called that. They were just here. They had some kind of paper that allowed them to work and live here, but they apparently could not even get green cards, much less become citizens. Those are the ones that are being repatriated. Those are the ones that are being deported back to Cuba. It is a sad situation. I wonder if there is, but then again, I don't know. You go along with the herd mentality, you go along with the crowd, and the crowd saying, Ray, 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 even though the Ray Ray is against you. Coming to the final segment of the Open Line with us with your telephone calls this Wednesday afternoon. Our numbers remain 954-792-1170, 305-948-1170. As we mentioned earlier, we had a conversation this morning with immigration attorney Kristen Mercer, and some of the things we talked about, I think people should take heed as they move into the Easter holidays, call it that. Some people travel for Easter. our young people come home from school for spring break. It is important that we understand these things. The ubiquitous, forever present cell phones. Customs and Border Patrol can ask you to look at your phone. If you refuse to open the phone, turn it on, they can charge you. They can seize the phone too. And I've been thinking that maybe what this is a warning that we should be more careful about what we deposit on our phones. Stuff that, if nothing else, taking up valuable space on your phone. Maybe you don't need to have all of the stuff on it. And what they're looking for is someone who, for example, comes here, spends 4 months, 5 months, don't overstay the 6-month entry they get. But they come back 2 weeks' time. Those are the people they're looking for. So when they borrow your phone to look at it, guess what they're looking for? They're looking to see if you're communicating with somebody you work for. They're looking to see if you're communicating with somebody who you're doing something for in return for our money. In other words, they're looking for evidence that you're working and you do have permission to work. Yeah. And what I think it says is keep your business off the phone. The one thing that is beyond any kind of doubt is how convenient the phone is. Do not put your life on the phone. Next thing you miss it and you're out. Get ready to have a heart attack. Hello.
Hey, my brother, how you doing?
Hey, talk to me.
Look, I think it was 2 days ago, a lady called and spoke about people in our church that are over 100 years old, and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can recall that conversation.
Yeah, of course, can't forget that one.
And, you know, first thing when I meet people who are that age, and I always ask them, tell me, what do you do? Tell me what you eat.
Okay.
And I can almost bet 80%. Most of them, they grow up eating the junk that we grew up eating.
Oh.
You know, 60 Minutes had a segment this weekend about, you know, the children and the obesity and the health factors.
Okay.
And they had both the Republican guy there, I think it's Kennedy, and they had the Democratic one who, when Obama was in power, and they said they disagree on many issues, but they decided to come together regarding this one quote pandemic that is plaguing the society here. And the food that there's a loophole that a lot of food did not go through the Food and Drug Administration, you know, and it's junk food, pure junk.
Okay.
And you see the side effects of it, you know. But because when we look back and we see all those people that are 100, when we were in Jamaica, you see them climbing up. I don't know if you remember when you go up Mount Rasa, and you see the old lady with her basket on her head. I'm sitting on and say, how they manage with that, the basket going up that hill there. And when you check it, some people don't drink Pepsi and Coke and all them stuff there. No, them don't drink them things, boss, man. But I have to say one thing, to pray a blessing over you. Man, if I was you, I'd say, you know what, I'm not taking no call for the rest of the day. I run in with this and just play music for the rest of the day. Sure, trust me. That's the blessing there, boss.
Seriously.
I tell you.
Seriously. Yes, sir.
All right, my brother. Have a blessed one.
You too. Give thanks. Well, what is there to say? My brother Ed, I see more often than my other siblings, and it's something that we talk about all the while. We have been the beneficiaries of just incredible, mostly women, especially the church sisters of my grandmother and the church we grew up in. We are here in great part because of their prayers. No question. We don't question that anymore. We just roll with it and give thanks. And when you hear me say give thanks, I really mean it, you know. Yeah, man. At my age and stage, certain challenges don't even exist in your life anymore, you know. No, man, you're past the puppy show stage. And that is part of the reason why I'm able to enjoy the sharing that I do on this program 3 days a week. After knowing this country now, 50 years, plus a couple, 52, 3, whatever. What you understand is that people, not from just our community, but everybody, they come to this country, and the story that they've been told all of their lives growing up, just before and even since coming to this country, is that work hard and you'll make it in America. True, but that needs a number of qualifications. If all you're doing is working hard, it's counterproductive. You have to work hard with a design, with a plan. I, for example, never planned to be in this business. Got questioned about it recently. But certain tracks were laid, and I was walking into them without realizing that that is my purpose. So it happens. But no, especially today, when navigating immigration and migration in this country is the way it is. We need to have a little plan. And sometimes, depending on how many stones you throw behind you, sometimes you can wheel and come again, you know. Because sometimes it's not that the plan don't work. Sometimes it's just not going to work. And is whether we have the intestinal fortitude, the strength to say, listen, I'm going to try another thing because this one didn't work. Especially if you're fairly young. Come on. Hello?
Afternoon, Mr. Barnes.
Good afternoon.
I am the organist for blues model that used to play at the church.
Okay.
And I call you over and over about my grandson who they passed Edron. Yesterday was my birthday and I'm 88 today.
Wow. Happy birthday to you. Wow.
And my husband died. He was, the 25th would be his birthday and he would have been 93.
Wow.
But he died last week, Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Listen, I congratulate you and I wish you all the best for your birthday today.
Yes. Yesterday.
Oh,
thank you.
The best. You're welcome. Wow. Thank you for calling, all right? Wow. That is so cool. Ain't that a cool way to close out the program today? Yeah.